Alright, what is up guys? We're making our very first video here, and I'm very excited to be doing this. Hopefully I will have a lot of videos coming out in the near future, and yeah, let's get into it. So for today's video, the topic is the beauty of middle school. Now, middle school is one of those times in your life where you are just living completely stress-free. It is probably one of the most chill periods in your life. You know, in class you're getting little to no homework. Even if you're getting a little bit, you don't need to, well, personally I didn't do any. Most people don't need to do any. There's just absolute nonsense going on in class all the time. Take, for example, back in the day, I remember in my shop class, we would get on top of the tables, jump around, play tag on top of the tables anytime the teacher left the room. Some straight bullshit. Or in my science class, we had this room to the side of it, a small little room where the low IQ individuals would be sent to do their work. So, you know, a lot of my friends ended up in that room, so we would all meet up in there, and we started a little fight club in that room. Well, I won't go too much into detail on that. Could be another video, but, you know, maybe. And, yeah, also, you know, your classic unblocked cool math games. Anytime you were on the computers, there was just, you could do whatever you want in middle school, pretty much. And there were no consequences for your actions, really. Unless you were doing some really crazy stuff, it was all just forgotten. And middle school is a period where you are living completely in the moment. I think that's a time when when people are the most free that they will ever be in their entire life. Now, that sounds a bit sad, but I think it's an unfortunate reality for a lot of people. And middle school is like that because in middle school, you do not have to worry about the past, but you also don't have to worry about the future either. You are fully free to live in the moment. Now, what I mean by this is in middle school, you are too young to have lived enough life in which you have regrets. Because you've only lived so few years and have so few experiences, you really don't spend any time focused on the past, rethinking mistakes or thinking about things you could have done differently. And you also have no need to worry for the future. You have plenty of time in high school to plan out your future and think about what you're going to do. And in middle school, you are truly able to just enjoy the moments and live in it freely. Another thing with middle school, there is most people at least don't have to work part-time jobs as they might in high school, and you really feel no desire or need to hustle. The only time you would ever, or personally, the only time I would ever be hustling would be to try and find out how I could buy, you know, some video game currencies or get my V-Bucks up. And that takes us into the next topic of the video, which is middle school video games. Middle school gaming, for me at least, is probably one of the best periods of gaming in my entire life that I can think of. You know, at school, you would be with your friends at the end of the day. Everyone would be asking each other, "Are you getting on later? Are you getting on later?" And whenever you get home, instantly straight to the console, get on your Xbox or whatever you have, and that would be your evening. You would be no stress, just focus on your games with friends. And yeah, the games back then would hit as hard as they possibly could. That was peak gaming. When I was in middle school, the big games we were playing were, you know, Prime Fortnite, some Prime Rainbow Six Siege, a little bit of Black Ops 3, some zombies. And these games, at that time in your life, gaming starts to fade as you get older for a lot of people. They lose interest and don't find the same enjoyment. And I don't think it's entirely because of games becoming soulless. The quality of games coming out has definitely decreased, but I think that the main thing is just being young and being free, especially the most in middle school. And the next thing I want to talk about is sleepovers. I think middle school is the period of your life in which you have the most sleepovers. You sort of gain more independence from your family, and you don't have your parents planning your sleepovers for you anymore. It's you and the bros making plans, meeting up for the sleepovers. You know, you got all your friends there, and you have so much more freedom. Whether you guys are planning to sneak out or having an all-nighter where you're gaming, it's just so much more free than any other time. And one thing with sleepovers that's particularly special is the slop you eat during sleepovers. I'm talking the Mountain Dew with the boys, you got your Doritos, your candy, specifically the Mountain Dew Voltage, and that back in the day. that was the go-to. And yeah, another thing with sleepovers would be bringing your console to your friend's house. I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but you would bring your console over to your friend's house for the sleepover, and then set up a TV besides each other, which doesn't really make the most sense, as you could just play split screen, but it was just an unreal experience being to play it together like that. And one more thing for middle school is social media. At this time, or when I was in middle school, the scrolling and the brain rot was very minimal. You know, most people would be using Instagram to actually like connect socially, which I know sounds corny, but it's true. There was none of these reels. It was just good enjoyment. You had your memes, simple memes. None of this new like collab, frames mog, AFC frat leader. It was, you know, classics like back in middle school. There was Do You Know Due, Uganda Knuckles, and that was before TikTok. Back when TikTok was Musical.ly, and there was no pure doom scrolling of garbage over and over and over. Social media was much better, just overall. Yeah, those are the main things I wanted to touch on in the video. If you guys made it this far, I very much appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing and liking, and let me know in the comments what you thought of the video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.